Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Good morning, it is 9:05 a.m. and I'm back with another Descendants and Zombies video. Welcome back to my channel. I'm yours truly, Jonathan Clarke, and I am honored to be here to produce Descendants and Zombies videos for each and every one of you the way they were meant to be produced, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun talking about Descendants this morning. I am really excited about Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. For those of you who are new here, I am counting down the days, if not the hours, to Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, and you know, when you think about it, this time next year, we will be counting down the hours to Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, and I really do love this franchise because this franchise really has brought stuff to life in a way that nothing has ever been brought to life before, and it has inspired so many people to believe that dreams can happen for you. Even with how far dreams seem to be unreachable and so far away, I think that a dream is achievable because of Descendants and Zombies, which is why I really appreciated how Clarke opened up the Worlds Collide tour by saying that dreams can and will happen for you if you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I really appreciated that because I've been saying this for forever on this show. Good morning to everybody from wherever you're watching the show and hearing my voice. I want you to know that dreams can happen for you, and no matter what you're going through, everything is going to be okay. Why? Because it has to be. And that's what Descendants and Zombies has taught us for forever, and I'm really proud that Descendants and Zombies has attracted millions of fans from all over the world, all walks of life, with different stories that they have shared through their experiences of being a Descendants fan. I myself have shared many stories with you guys on this podcast, and I've been very proud to do it because my life often has reminded me of Descendants and Zombies, how one can find their true love no matter how many times they've been left brokenhearted in relationships, how one can have a dream become a reality for them, because I always wanted to be one of the biggest stars in the world for Descendants and Zombies, or just the biggest star in the world to do a podcast, I should say. And one of the biggest challenges for me was to find a niche that would be incredibly supportive and would love my videos. And I never ever thought 25 years ago that I would fall into a niche that would be as incredibly supportive as what Descendants and Zombies has been for me. Thousands of people have subscribed to this YouTube channel, hundreds of views per video, and over 45,000 views have been recorded as of this morning on this YouTube channel. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that. Putting into perspective just how a dream can come to be a reality for somebody who never ever thought that his voice would ever be heard on his very first radio program in 1999, and his very first YouTube video that was uploaded in 2009. Over the years, I've uploaded over 4,000 videos, but never as supportive as the Descendants and Zombies videos, and over the years, I've uploaded many Descendants and Zombies videos, but not as many as I've been uploading now, because this YouTube channel, this podcast, if you would, has become devoted to Descendants and Zombies fans. I say this because you're looking up Descendants and Zombies videos on YouTube, but you're not finding the content that you love so much. And that's why every morning after 9-10 a.m. in the morning, or just before, I upload a video for you about Descendants and Zombies with my thoughts in it. I think that a year is a long time to wait for a lot of people, to be honest with you. I don't want to have to wait a year for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, but it's better than having to wait 2 or 3 years for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, because Zombies won't be released until 2027, so they've got to give us something. And I'm really excited to see what the plot will detail, what kind of characters will be involved in the plot, how the plot will definitely be very different from the original, with the concept of time travel now having been removed for it. That'd be the reason why we don't see Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget in this. I'm missing Ruby dearly. I'm in mourning because Ruby Rose Turner is not going to be a part of Descendants 5. When the announcement was made on social media from Ruby herself, I was heartbroken. And I think Clarke was heartbroken too, because of their friendship and how they've been fans of Descendants ever since they were 9 years old. Can you imagine if that was you? A fan of Descendants since you were 9 years old, and now you're a part of the Descendants franchise? How crazy must that be to wake up every morning and realize that you are the star of Disney's Descendants franchise? Just think about that for a moment. Think about the pressure that must be on the shoulders of Clarke, how she's always got to deliver, how she's always got to show up for performances and rehearsals, and show up for these concerts and on set of the movies of Descendants, and really putting it out there further than Zombies has ever gotten. Zombies is popular, yes, with 250 million hours of stream time and a rating of 6.2, but Descendants is light years ahead of that with 6.4 for a rating and 781 million hours of stream time, with 100 hours of millions of stream time being recorded just earlier this past week for the original Descendants movie. That is incredible. And I don't even think Clarke ever thought she'd get to this point, but I knew Clarke would get to this point because I was incredibly proud of who Clarke was and the star she became. I didn't think Clarke believed she would become the star that she became. Her resume speaks for itself. Gabby Dern and the Unsittables, Raven's Home, High School Musical, the series, beautiful, beautiful representation of characters done by Clarke that she really brought to life. Being a huge fan of High School Musical, knowing all the songs, Knowing all the songs from Descendants too was a big plus for her too. I don't think that Kylie Cantrell even had to rehearse the older songs of Descendants because she knew them word for word, and I got that from her YouTube show Hello Kylie when she reviewed some of my favorite TV shows years ago, iCarly, Sam and Cat, Victorious, who had powerful messages in their own right of putting dreams in action and how anything could be possible for you. Although I didn't really agree with Nickelodeon's direction with production and stuff, I think that Nickelodeon had fabulous shows with fabulous casts and fabulous messages. And I remember Victorious, one of the shows that Kylie Cantrell used to review, being one of my favorites because it had a very powerful cast and perhaps the best cast ever put together for a kids TV series. They went on to win Favorite Kids TV Show at the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards in 2012. You know, speaking of the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards, I always wanted to be the host of the Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards, and so many people have had the honor of doing that. John Cena, Mark Wahlberg, and they've all eventually ended up getting slimed. And over the years, we've seen so many known celebrities be slimed. I, for one, would love to see Logan Paul get slimed on the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, but I would love the opportunity to be up being slimed. I would love the opportunity to be the host of the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Come to think of it, I would love to be the host of the Disney Radio Music Awards every year because I have that very powerful voice. I have that very powerful voice that can be involved in the opening monologue of Descendants. So if you could hit my subscribe button and make that dream of mine become a reality, I would love to entertain you. I've often wanted to be the writer and producer of Descendants if Disney would consider selling me the franchise for $22.5 million. It's a franchise that I think could have a bigger budget allocated for it with the popularity of it, because in the first Descendants, I can understand why the movie would only be given about a $2 million budget, because they didn't really know what kind of direction it was going to be, how popular it would eventually become. But you had to know it was going to be popular with the star power. Dove Cameron from Liv and Maddie fame, Sophia Carson's first major role, Cameron Boyce from Jesse and Bunk fame, and Kenny Ortega as the director and producer of this one knew it was going to be something special. You had to know it was going to present a very positive vibe. And I had a lot of faith in Kenny Ortega because I was a huge fan of Hocus Pocus from 1993 fame, High School Musical from 2006 fame, which went on to become one of the most successful Disney Channel trilogies of all time. I was the biggest High School Musical fan out there. There was just something about Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez, Vanessa Hudgens, and Zac Efron's portrayal of those characters that really brought it to life. And it's really cool now that high schools now have acquired the license to actually perform High School Musical on stage for high school productions, which is really cool. That happened earlier this year. So I think that High School Musical is still being considered one of the most revered Disney Channel productions of all time, but I think that Descendants is well on its way to becoming the #1 and most revered franchise of all time. Because you take a look at all the attention it's garnering from the Worlds Collide Tour, millions is being made off of this. 43 arena dates, all sold out across the United States. So I think that you guys really brought this to life, and people online promoted it to the point and reviewed it on YouTube to the point where I think we'll see a sequel to her. I think we can't get away without having a sequel to this because of how successful it was. I'm so proud to say that, you know, I'm such a huge fan of Descendants and Zombies. You know, I'm almost 40 next year, but I've been watching Descendants since I was 25 years old. I remember the first time that I saw Descendants and I was blown away by it. I really was. For the powerful music, for the powerful message. I remember the premiere. It happened on July 31st, 2015. And, you know, my life wasn't really headed in a direction that I wanted to remember it for being, but I think Descendants allowed me to turn my life around and put it into a whole new perspective. It made me feel more encouraged to accomplish a dream. It set me out on a journey to create a podcast about Descendants and Zombies eventually after being persuaded by so many girls that would show up at my door every year on Halloween dressed up as their favorite Descendants character and would send me behind a computer or a laptop every night of my life with a Reese's Pieces cup in my hand, researching Descendants and finding out the origin of the stories of your favorite characters, how they offered explanation as to why the Queen of Hearts was so evil at the expense of Ruby Rose Turner's character Bridget, how Kylie Cantrell's character Red wanted to be something ultimately greater than her mother ever wanted her to aspire to be. And I think a lot of people found themselves in the same kind of position that Kylie Cantrell's character Red was in, because I think a lot of people just feel the peer pressure of high school, feel the pressure of their friends wanting them to be a certain way, and you feel as if you kind of got to mold yourself into being the person that your friends are. But I think that that's what creates diversity in this world. Red was a character that was very outspoken. She was fearless, she was strong, and she was one of those first Descendants characters in years that came off as being strong and being powerful, which is why I have a profound amount of credit to give to Kylie Cantrell, because Kylie Cantrell had the torch passed to her, and she did such a fabulous job. Now, she has received criticism, the spotlight has been on Kylie Control so many times for so many different reviews we've seen on TikTok and on YouTube, and celebrities themselves haven't been backing off of Kylie Control. And I remember seeing this one video of Kylie Control being reduced to tears last year in 2024 about her relationship. And I always wanted Kylie Control to know that she didn't do anything wrong. And if there was one person to have the torch passed from Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson to Kylie Control and Mila Baker, it would have had to have been Kylie Control to carry the torch into a new generation of Descendants fans. Because that's really what we have, is a new generation of Descendants fans. I think the original Descendants fans haven't carried on the legacy of Descendants because they didn't accept the new cast, or almost immediately didn't accept the new cast. But I think that was just jumping to a conclusion. I think a lot of people placed judgment on characters portrayed by Kylie and Malia and really didn't give it a chance. For me, when I heard the announcement that Ruby Rose Turner was going to be joining the cast of Descendants, I was on board. After having reviewed the original Descendants so many times on YouTube, I was on board for it. And if anybody was going to review Descendants in a positive way, in a positive light, it was going to be me. I can't imagine Descendants being around now without my voice being attached to the franchise, which you guys made happen for me. You know, as a YouTube creator, one can upload videos and one can talk about a specific niche, but it's up to that niche to accept him and to fall in love with his videos. And each and every one of you, through hitting the subscribe button and hitting the like button, have done that for me. And because of you, I know my legacy will go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, because I will be honest with each and every one of you, one of my greatest fears in life has always been being forgotten. I know I come in through that window every morning and I say that I was out vampire slaying the night before, donning a black sweater. But, I mean, if one does not really believe the content that he's talking about and wants to live the whole zombies experience, per se, living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode, which conveniently enough I do, and I have for a number of years now, I think that the videos will pretty much have their purpose defeated. I don't want to be shut out. I just want to be heard. And each and every one of you have definitely allowed me to be heard and give me the chance to use my voice to talk about Descendants and Zombies in a way that I can easily say it's a 5-star production. And I think we can easily get to at least 3 or 4 more Descendants movies if in fact the torch is passed from Kylie Control to Leimani Segura, which is pretty much the setup for Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland. We could see a passing of the torch after previously having seen the torch pass from Zombies 4 down to the Vampires, from Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly's character Zed and Addison to now Malachi Burton and Freya Sky's characters Victor and Nova, who look so adorable together. I remember seeing the premiere of Zombies 4 down to the Vampires about 3.5 weeks ago. It's hard to believe that it's been about a month since Zombies actually it's been a month since Zombies premiered, and it's getting great reviews, but a lot of the reviews that we are seeing on YouTube, at least 80% of them are negative reviews, presenting a real negative vibe, and that's hazardous to Zombies fans, because there are millions of Zombies fans. There may not be as many Zombies fans out there as there are Descendants fans, or perhaps just as many collectively if you talk about Zombies and Descendants together as one whole respective franchise. But there are enough Zombies fans out there that I think you guys deserve better. I mean, the music in Zombies 4 got a lot better from the original 3 movies. I mean, there might have been 2 or 3 songs from Zombies 1 through 3 that I loved, and you can pretty much count them on your hand. This Is Going to Be My Year, Someday, Where Do I Belong, which is a beautiful, beautiful song from Zombies 2 when Zed and Addison broke up for the first time in the movie, in the franchise, really. So I know it had a lot to do with conflict being presented, because there has to be a couple of scenes where there are conflict in any movie, for that matter, that pertains to kids, to teach them valuable life lessons. But that song, Somewhere I Belong, where Zed and Addison broke up for the first time in Zombies 2 after the introduction of werewolves and Addison wanting to find her origin as a werewolf and then going from finding her origin as a werewolf to being an alien, I thought it was fabulously done and really beautifully collaborated. Where they shot it was in Toronto, the original trilogy, and they changed it up from Toronto to New Zealand. And for those of you who have not been to New Zealand, it is a very proud place to actually be, because the people who were a part of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires were so proud to be a part of the production, so proud to be a part of the collaboration. And I would have loved to have been the director of this one, because there were a lot of situations in Zombies that really put my own life into perspective. For instance, there was a hill literally 5 minutes away from where I live. It's called Signal Hill. And that final scene of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires reminds me of every time I used to visit that hill, and all the stories of hauntings that happened on top of the hill, because apparently that hill is haunted. And it's really, really cool how Zombies has inspired us to become stronger people and more incredibly supportive of our friendships that we have. It just goes to show that you don't need a whole lot of friends in life. You just need a few really good ones. And the friendship that dawned from Zombies, the franchise as a whole, between Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly was a beautiful friendship. And I think that when you can have not only a friendship on camera, but can have that same kind of friendship off of camera, that's something really special and something to hold on to. Because us as not being actresses and actors in our own life, we don't even have that great of friendships with people. And if people out in the world can have friendships like we've seen off of camera with Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim, putting that to the forefront, that's something incredible. That's a gift really to have. You know, I myself went through my whole high school experience and I didn't have a whole lot of friends. And I wasn't the most popular guy. I was really a geek who would sit behind his computer, go home, play his PlayStation, do his homework every night, and aspire to be a YouTube creator one day, where I would eventually be sitting in a game chair every morning making videos for me. It hasn't happened for me yet, but once I get my monetization hours up, it will happen, but that's not my goal. My goal always on YouTube was to aspire to be a YouTube creator that would talk about something that everybody would love. I never ever wanted to talk about stuff for the negative side of things, the negative vibe, because I could be one of those YouTube creators that could come on his YouTube show every single morning and criticize Descendants and Zombies for no particular reason. But why am I going to do that when I have millions of people who love these videos? I know that Malachi Burton and Freya Sky are going to do a fabulous job carrying the torch after it had been passed to them by the end of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, and there was actually a song indicating that and setting up the future of the franchise. And while Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly will be sitting behind a camera offering creative direction as producers of this for the first time ever, their ultimate goal was to become producers, and having teased that we could see mermaids by the end of Zombies 4, because we don't know what's inside of that vortex. But if you caught an interview with Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly, or a TikTok video I should say, on YouTube a while back and on TikTok, they actually teased the possibility of mermaids being within inside of that vortex. What else was inside of that vortex? I think they're kind of kayfabing it because they want to keep it a surprise. And that's really going to be a cliffhanger for us for the next 2 or 3 years. I'm reading down through the comments of parents and fans of Zombies, because a lot of the parents saying their kids are going to be teenagers by the time Zombies 5 happens, whatever the title is. They don't want to see that happen, so they're hoping for an earlier release. As much as I would love to see an earlier release for Zombies, and I'm going as fast as I can to put out as many videos as I can pertaining to Zombies 5 to encourage an earlier release, I would go for a 3-year release window, because you have to give it time. Because if you release a movie every year, what happens is the plot is not so detailed. There's not as much work ethic is the word I'm searching for. So you really got to give it time. You really got to give this plot time to evolve, and for people like Freya Sky and Malachi Burton to become ultimately more popular. Not saying they're not popular now, but they still have a long way to go to get to the point where Zed and Addison's characters have told the story and completed it, because their story was completed by the end of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. Addison's gone off to cheer college. Milo Manheim has gone on for a football scholarship. So I think there is a long way to go with Zombies, because now after a story has been completed, there's another story yet to be told. So why are people on their podcast saying that we're seeing the end of Zombies, we're coming to the end of Descendants, by the end of Descendants 5, there won't be any more Descendants movies? I think there will be a Descendants 6. I think they're just saying that to discourage your hopes of seeing a Descendants or Zombies movie. I really do. And I wanted to just encourage that. I wanted to give you a hope that there is going to be a Zombies 5, there is going to be a Descendants 5, Descendants 6. We've still got a long way to go, and possibly another tour. With how popular this tour was and how many people got shut out of the tour because of the tickets selling out so quick, I think we could have a sequel tour because of the revenue, because of the attention that it got. It got great reviews, but I think there were a lot of people, and more than ever given credit for, that really tore the credibility of this one down. And I don't want to be one of those guys that tear the credibility of it down. If anything, I just want to encourage you that you will see another Descendants or Zombies movie or another World's Tour. And we're going to be hearing a lot of reviews of the next Zombies movie, the next Descendants movie. By the time Descendants 5 touches down next summer in 2026, and like I said, it's really hard to believe that a year from now we'll be counting down the hours literally to the premiere of Descendants 5 on Disney Channel and Disney Plus, which I'm really excited to be here and join you for. So if you could hit my subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate that. We've still got a long way to go with these two franchises, and look at that, I haven't even finished my coffee this morning. Before I do anything or head out on my daily excursion, I always make sure I have a video up for you about Descendants and Zombies, because I know how much it means to each and every one of you. My favorite Descendants character has to be Kylie Control right now, because of how powerful she is. And my favorite Descendants character of the previous movie has to be Ruby Rose Turner, because Ruby Rose Turner gave so much value to life and so much prestige. That was the thing about Ruby. Ruby was incredibly strong. Ruby was incredibly fearless, and Ruby didn't care what anybody thought of her. And that was something that was so miraculous about Ruby. That was something that was so immaculate, if I can use that word, about Ruby Rose Turner, which is pretty much a more fancier word or fancier way of saying fabulous, because she really did bring that character Bridget to life. I just wish there was something more for Ruby to do in Descendants 5. One can't tell me that you can take Ruby out of it because time travel is no longer needed in Descendants 5 because it's going to be focused on present-day Wonderland. I know that it's going to be focused on present-day Wonderland, but couldn't Ruby have been one of the consequences of time travel? How Red's mother became good all of a sudden at the end of the movie? There's so much of a vibe that could be presented for this one that has left to be undiscovered and unveiled. So I think they're really just trying to keep it a secret by the time we get to Descendants 5 to see where the plot will take us. But you can rest assured that Descendants 5 will not be the end of the story. This story will be far from completed. And with however many characters we see their introduction into the Descendants franchise, I think it gives us hope that we will be seeing something more done with this franchise. What I mean by that is stories created off of the new characters. Like, you just can't tell Pink's story, played by Liamani Segura, in just one movie, can you? You just can't tell a story in 90 minutes completed from the original Rise of Red movie. I mean, I saw the movie over 100 times. I definitely saw it more than once, if not 100 times. And that story is far from completed. You can't tell a story in 90 minutes and complete it. I know there were a lot of people that were left frustrated over the direction of the Descendants. I know, because I read the reviews. And some of the reviews really upset me because you didn't really say enough good things about Descendants or zombies. Because the thing you got to think about as a YouTube creator, I put myself in your position. I never ever prepare anything before I jump on this podcast. I put myself in your position and I think about what you want to see as a fan of Descendants and Zombies. So I throw in so many reaction videos, I throw in so many teaser videos, I throw in so many opinionated videos where I just discuss my opinion on Descendants and Zombies, and I show up for these videos. I promised you a year ago when I first showed up on YouTube, when I uploaded my very first video, I was going to make hundreds of Descendants and Zombies videos, and I like to believe that I did that, and I succeeded at that. And through succeeding at that, I inspired a lot of people to become stronger, to go for their goals and dreams, to be a better person than what they probably were ever before watching these videos, because encouragement is sometimes really needed in this world. And while Descendants did offer us some encouragement and inspired us that dreams do happen for us, I think more people on their YouTube channels could be inspiring us the same thing. You have to set a goal, they teach you that in high school, and you have to achieve that goal when you do an entrepreneurial career. And I think that the same kind of logic applies to Descendants and Zombies. If you have a dream, because you only have one life to live, from the moment we're born, we die. So every moment that we have in our lifetime, because we're all going to the same place, we have to make every moment count. And the best way to make every moment count is to set a goal for yourself and achieve that goal every single day. And even if not today, tomorrow is another opportunity for you. And I never ever want you to let go of that. So the way this YouTube channel works is I will be back later on this afternoon with another great video about Descendants and Zombies for each and every one of you, and I hope that you can join me for that, as I will discuss the future of Descendants a little bit more in detail, and I will talk about the future of the Zombies franchise, and what kind of position we will be in, and what kind of circumstances we will be faced with because of what's inside of that vortex by the time we get to Zombies 5, because I can assure you, we've still got a long way to go. And I'm really excited to see what the future has in store for Malachi, Bert, and Freya's guys' characters, Victor and Nova, because I do agree with all of you. They do look adorable together, and I'm really excited to see where we go from here, because the Zombies franchise still has a beautiful story to be told, to be discovered, and I just want to be along for the ride. I want to be on this incredible journey for just a little while longer, because I still think we do have a long way to go with this, and there's still much of a story to be uncovered that I'm really excited about. So if you're thinking about subscribing to this YouTube channel, you may be watching my videos for the first time, perhaps you're a returning subscriber. Hi to you. It's nice to see you this morning, and as I promised you last night, I have returned with another video, and only after 9-10 a.m. in the morning. I know that's really early to jump on this show, but if one makes a promise, I think one should honor that promise, and I like to believe that I have done that. But I can't say that I've honored the promise until you promise me that you will make every dream that you want to have achieved by the end of today come true. And if not today, like I said, tomorrow is another opportunity. Because we are all legends in the making. If I can steal a line from one of the lyrics of the song Legends in the Making from the Zombies 4 soundtrack, which I really do believe was one of the best soundtracks ever collaborated for a Zombies movie. So many inspirational songs, an inspirational melody with so many inspirational lyrics. I mean, the story is far from completed, and I think a lot of people thought that Zombies 4 might be the last Zombies movie, but what you got to do is you got to kind of put it all together and really put it into perspective. Why introduce all these new characters? I mean, Meg Donnelly said herself in so many podcast interviews since the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires that they were doing this to secure the future of the Zombies franchise, and indeed they have. I think Malachi Burton and Freya Sky, while it may be looked at as questionable in the minds of a lot of Zombies fans, if they can do it, if they can pull it off, if they can pull this one out, I think they can do it. We still have a long way to go. A 2027 release date being suggested for Zombies, and the answer to the question of what is inside of that vortex remains unanswered up to this point. But that doesn't mean that there can't be a lot of skepticism about it, and I'm really excited about it. And skepticism meaning a lot of comments, and a fluctuation of comments about what could be inside of that vortex, because people are even suggesting things inside of that vortex, what could be inside of it that I had forgotten about, like sirens and witches and even pirates, which is something that kind of escaped my mind for forever. So having said that, I want you all to be kind to one another, and just know I will return at some point later on this afternoon. I don't know what time specifically, but there will be a new video uploaded about Descendants of Zombies at some point this afternoon, and I hope you will join me for it. I will also be back tonight with another video about Descendants of Zombies, as we still have a long way to go with a lot of unanswered questions about the future, and I'm just here to help you make sense of everything pertaining to Descendants of Zombies, as we all stay calm and zombie on, and believe there is a chance that happily ever after can exist, and one can find their true love. Bye, YouTube. Be kind to one another. We will talk again in just a few hours from now, because life is really sweeter when all of us are.